students. I hope all you are fine. Now we will continue from our students book, page 88. Look at the pictures. What can you see? They are covers of books, some special books. Look at the covers. Guess why the books are special. The Birds of America, Gatsby, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and fairy tales, Grimm's fairy tales. So why are they special? Of course we don't know why they are special. You can make a search about them. You can stop the video and continue with your researches. So let's see. Was it written by a child? Was it first book ever printed? Has it only got one sentence? Is it the shortest book in the world? We don't know these answers, but after searching on the net, you can get your answers. Then let's check them listening. When we listen, we will do these questions again, answer the questions. If you want, you can listen it twice by stopping the video.
Students book, page 88. 2. Listen and check your answers. Why are these books special?
In 1939, Ernest Vincent Wright wrote a novel called Gatsby. It is about how a man called Gatsby helps save a town that is slowly dying. The book is quite long. In fact, it has 50,110 words. But the incredible thing is that none of the words in the book use the letter E. And remember, E is the most used letter in the English language.
John James Audubon was a French-American naturalist and painter. He loved to paint birds. During the 1830s, he produced a book with 435 beautiful paintings of birds. It was called Birds of America. In 2010, a copy of this book sold for £7.3 million, making it the most expensive book in the world.
The most famous collection of fairy tales was published in Germany in 1812 by the Grimm brothers. The collection contains well-known fairy tales such as Snow White and Rose Red, Rumpelstiltskin and Rapunzel. Many of the fairy tales have been made into films.
Eric Carle's picture book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, is one of the United Kingdom's best-loved books. It's the story of a tiny egg that turns into a caterpillar and eats its way through different foods. It finally becomes a butterfly. The picture book was translated into over 50 languages.
Okay, now, as we listen the audio, now we are aware of why these covers, why these books are so special. Let's start with the Gatsby. Why is Gatsby are so special? Gatsby is so special because none of the words in the books use the letter E. Normally, you know, the letter E is the most common letter we use in our everyday with lots of different in lots of different words. But in this book, the writer didn't use the letter E. It's so different. And let's continue from the Birds of America. It's popular, it's very famous because in 2010, the book sold 7.3 million copies, we can say. It means 7.3 million pounds. And then let's talk about Grimm's fairy tales are special because they are the most famous fairy tale collection. And finally, the Very Hungry Caterpillar. It's a most popular, well-known United Kingdom children's story, we can say. These books are special, and these are the reasons. Listen again and answer the questions. Now you are listening again the audio by stopping the video. And let's see, we are going to write the answer here. How many words are in Gatsby? How many words? 50,110. This is. There are 50,110 words in Gatsby. How many paintings are in Birds of America? How many paintings? 435. How much did a copy of Birds of America sell for? How much? Yes. It's 7.3 million pounds. It's too much money. When was the collection of fairy tales first published? In 1812. Into how many languages was the Very Hungry Caterpillar translated? It's very common, popular children's story. So, how many? We can say 50 languages. In the world, this book translated into 50 languages, we can say. So all they are correct. Well done for us. Let's continue. Now, read about 50-word stories and think about the questions. Can you write a story using exactly 50 words? Why not? Of course we can write. Look at this example. It tells the story of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. There is only one problem. It's got 5 words too many. Can you make it exactly 50 words long? Of course, we can write stories in 50 words. You can summarize a story. Not the old story, but in 50 words, you can summarize a story. In here, the writer writes 5 more words. You need to make it shorter, exactly 50 words. Romeo and Juliet fall in love. Their families are great enemies, so they decide to get married in secret. Before this, Juliet pretends to die to avoid marrying a man she doesn't like very much. Romeo thinks she is dead, and so he kills himself. Juliet wakes up, sees Romeo's dead body and kills herself. In here, you need to cross out 5 sentences to make it exactly 50 words. Let's do it together. I need a pen here or pencil. Let me find it. Yes. their families are great enemies, so they decided to get married in secret. Before this, Juliet pretends to die, avoid marrying a man she doesn't like very much. So you can say, in here you can change this sentence only. Juliet pretends to die, avoid marrying another man. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can put another man. That's enough for us. And we made the story shorter together. Now this is your turn. Think. Take a piece of paper. You can do it later. There's no problem. Think of a story you know well and tell it in 50 words. So make it summary. If you want, you can be like Ernest Wilson Wright and not use any words with an E in it. It's up to you. Now we will continue from the page 89. Turn to page. Reading part, reading time. Look at the pictures and answer the questions. Let's look at the pictures. First pictures, there are some men, they are knocking on the door. They want something, but we don't know what they want. The man and the cow in the next picture. Is it a dog? Yes, there is a dog in the another picture. So, our first question. What are the three men doing? Think about it. Look at the picture. What are they doing? They are knocking on the door and I think they want to get inside. What does the man want to do with the cow? He wants to milk it. Milk. Read, listen and check your answers. Now we are going to listen the text together and match the sentence halves to make summary. There is a reading part here and we are going to make it summary by matching the sentence halves on the left with the right. Let's listen. 1, 2, 3, here we go.
Student's Book, page 89. 2. Read, listen and check your answers.
A clever woman. Marlowe was the richest man in the village. One evening, 3 men knocked at his door. They were tired and wanted a bed for the night. "You can sleep in the stable," said Marlowe, "and my servant will bring you some soup." The strangers said thank you and went to the stable. In the middle of the night, one of the men got up quietly. He took a rope and tied it round a cow's neck. He led the cow into a forest and tied it to a tree. "I'll get the cow in the morning and sell her in the market," he thought. Next morning, the servant went to milk the cows. When he saw that one was missing, he went to tell Marlowe. Marlowe went to the stable. "Did you steal one of my cows?" he asked. "Of course not," the 3 men answered. "We were asleep all night." Marlowe told his wife about the cow. "I'm sure that one of the 3 men stole the cow." She said, "I have a plan." They went to the stable and she said,
We have a very clever dog called Barney. He will show us who stole the cow. Go into the room where Barney is and stroke him. When the thief strokes Barney's fur, the dog will bark.
The first man went into the room. The dog didn't make a sound. The second man went in. The dog didn't make a sound. Finally, the third man went in. The dog still didn't make a sound.
Did you all stroke the dog's fur?
Asked the woman.
Yes,
They said. Then Marlowe's wife asked to smell the hand that each man used to stroke the dog. She smelled them in turn. When she got to the third man, she said,
You are the thief. Our dog Barney is very smelly. Your friend's hands smell of Barney. Your hand doesn't. You didn't stroke Barney's fur because you were afraid that Barney would bark. Now, tell us where the cow is.
Now you have listened to a story. Let's continue with its exercise. We need to summarize this story by matching the sentences together. The three men were looking for a place to stay overnight. Milo told them to sleep in the stable, and gave them some soup. In the middle of the night, one of the men, I, took Marlowe's coat. Into a forest. He wanted to sell it in the market next day. In the morning, one of the servants, H, saw that a cow was missing. The farmer told his wife, who F had a plan. The three men had to stroke D, the dog's fur. Where is it? Here. The thief's hand didn't B, smell of Barney. So the farmer's wife knew E, who the thief was. So check your answer. You need to do this activity very carefully. You need to read the text again and again to understand the topic, to understand the ideas. Three men, let's read the summary together. Three men were looking for a place to stay overnight. Marlowe told them to sleep in the stable and gave them some soup. In the middle of the night, one of the men took Marlowe's cow into a forest. He wanted to sell it in the market the next day. In the morning, one of the servants saw that a cow was missing. The farmer told his wife, who had a plan. The three men had to stroke the dog's fur. The thief's hand didn't smell of Barney. So the farmer's wife knew who the thief was. Okay. is your homework. Please stop the video, do it, and then do it the activities together with me. You can check the answers. You can understand better. We can say, let's open 88. Read the text, choose the right words and write them on the lines. Let's see. The first one is example. Have you ever wanted to know what is the tallest building in the world, or which animal can run the fastest? If you answer this yes, then you need a copy of the Guinness World Records. The book is a collection of world records. The richest, the strongest, the oldest, everything you need to know is inside. The Guinness World Records is also one of the most famous books in the world. When the first edition came out in 1955, it became an immediate bestseller and more than 50 years later, it still sells many thousands of copies all over the world. These days, it's more than just a book. There is a popular TV series based on it, and even some museums. Finally, the book itself also holds a rather strange world record. It's the book that is stolen most often from the libraries in the USA. Now, this is the end of our video. Take care. We will continue. Bye.